What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. It's day 4 out of my new workout split. Not the most exciting of videos today. Well, it is. Of course it is. It's me. It's gonna be amazing. But it is technically a rest day. So no hardcore training. Although I will be doing something. I do believe in being active almost every day. I don't like lying about being an absolute pudding. I like to move my body. However, I need to let my body rest, recover, because it has been an intense 3 days of training. So whatever I do today is going to be pretty chilled out, not too strenuous. So what I will typically do on a rest day is largely determined by my heart rate variability. This strap from Whoop tells me exactly what that is after every night's sleep which I've had. If you want to know more about HRV and what it actually stands for, I highly recommend you actually read the article from Whoop, because that explains everything. I don't want to go into a big rant about what HRV is and so on, but basically, if my HRV is lower than usual, lower than my average, a lot lower, then it's telling me that my body needs to rest. It needs to recover. It's recovering from some form of stress or strain, whether it be training, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, alcohol, whatever it might be. So I need to listen to that. And I won't do anything too strenuous if it is below the average. However, if it is on average or above average, then it's telling me that my body is doing all right. If I look at last night's, if we get it up on the Whoop app, my recovery is elevated 75%. Even though it wasn't the best night's sleep, I had 6 hours, my HRV is 108, which is above the 94 average. So today, I can get away with doing a little bit more activity than usual. So I traditionally like to separate my core training from my other workouts. You don't have to, but for me personally, after I've done one of these training sessions on my app, I'm pretty exhausted, both physically and mentally. So for me to go and train core for another 15-20 minutes, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just go in, smash my core for 20-30 minutes and do it when I'm fresh, when I've got most concentration as well. So what I'll do, because it's not on my split at the moment, I will just add it. So I have a selection of core routines and calf routines that I can add if I want to add them. So I'll just mix it up from time to time. So we've got this core session which we're going to do today. Hanging knee raise, ab rollout, reverse crunch and rope crunch. 4 exercises. That should be more than enough. So we're going to start off with a hanging knee raise. This is, without a doubt, quite an advanced exercise. If you can't do it, then sort your life out. What the hell are you playing at? God damn it. No, if you can't do it, then just do this one instead. It is a lot easier to do. Still difficult though. But that's the movement we're trying to replicate, where we're bringing our knees up towards our chest. This is ultimately what I would want you to work up to. Use ab straps if you don't have the upper body strength to do so, but you're just gonna tuck your knees up and then come down. Exhale at the top, breathe in on the way down. Tres difficile. That is definitely one of the more advanced core exercises to do because it requires a lot of core strength. And for those people out there that want to build up their core and have a visible six-pack, you need to treat it like any other muscle group. Okay, so you need to progressively overload the muscle. You need to add a significant amount of resistance. So if you just lie there and do like crunches, which is basically placing hardly any resistance at all on your abs, then they're not really going to grow by a huge amount. And notice when I'm doing it, I'm using a very fixed range of motion, because this part of the movement, we're not really engaging the lower abs a huge amount. It's more hip flexors. So when I come down to about this point here, I want to stop. Keep the tension on the abs, contract them, control the movement up, squeeze at the top. It's very difficult, but very effective. If I had to do one abdominal focused exercise for the rest of my life, I would do this one. 94 kilograms, because that's what I'm weighing at the moment. Second set, it's obviously going to suck. See that control? That is admirable control there. I don't know many people that can do these. That's a sign of being actually like athletic and having some decent core strength. So if someone can show me themselves doing that, I'm like, yeah, I rate that, respect that. So because this one is quite challenging, I almost treat it a bit like a strength exercise. So my rest period in between this is probably the longest it's going to be for all these ab exercises. I want to make sure I got my breath back and I'm ready to go again to at least try and meet the target rep range, which today is 8. As the weeks progress and I follow this routine, I'm going to try and beat my performance by doing an extra rep each week, which sounds easy, but it's quite difficult. Oh, that one was tough. Right, now we can go home. Next one, ab rollout. So the next exercise is technically an ab rollout, but I don't have the wheel here, which is a minor inconvenience, but it's okay. Another very, very similar exercise to the ab rollout is rowing machine rollouts. So I really like this exercise. So what you're gonna do, you get the seat, bring it up here, feet a couple inches away from the edge of the machine, and you're gonna gently roll the seat forward as far as you can. And then exhale and crunch. So at the top of the movement, as you bring that seat towards you, you squeeze everything together. It's the most important part of the movement, that the stronger your core is, the further away you can stand and the further forward you can go. So your body's like closer to being horizontal. It's harder than you think. That was about 6 reps. What I notice about core training is that I get heavily distracted when some ladies walk past. This is why this gym is sometimes absolutely terrible. I'm trying to focus here. Can someone put the curtains down, please? Ladies' day. As I was saying, one thing I noticed about core training, right? I used to think like, I need to train my abs at least once a week, otherwise they're gonna disappear. And that's not the case. Once you've built up a decent foundation for your abdominal muscles, it takes a lot for them to go away. Ultimately, at the end of the day, body fat percentage is going to determine how visible your abs are. And when I take a couple of weeks off core training because I'm being lazy, visually I don't really see a huge amount of difference, but performance-wise I notice a big difference. I notice my core is a lot weaker. Like, it's been a while since I've done core training. You know, in December I was pretty lazy. I think I trained core once. So I'm getting back into the routine of training core once a week. And I'm struggling with that. I'm noticing that's harder than usual. The hanging knee raise is harder than usual, so strength and endurance for my core at the moment is not great, so I'm trying to build it back up. I'm standing a bit closer this time because further away is really hard today. Next exercise we're going to go on to is a reverse crunch. So this one's actually a really good exercise to help build up the strength of the first exercise, which I did. But this is definitely more for intermediate / beginners. If you're a complete beginner to this and your core strength is pretty poor, then I would change the angle to being relatively flat. But as you become stronger, you want to add extra resistance, make it steeper. This should be all right for me. You can do it on a normal bench, an adjustable bench, but it means you'd have to hold on to the back of it, which sometimes is a bit awkward. Having a handle here is ideal, because you need to be able to grip something. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and keep that fixed range of motion, minimize hip flexors, maximize lower ab. Starting position will be here, and then challenging. I would say that's probably a good angle for me. So if you haven't trained core for ages and you give this core routine a try and you do it properly, I guarantee by now your abs will be pretty destroyed. So don't worry if you can only do like 2 or 3 exercises to begin with, because your core is just not going to be used to it. But over time, as it gets stronger, as you train it once per week, you'll find that it will adapt, and your ability to pack on the volume and add the resistance will improve over time. Yeah, good man. Yes! We're in Dubai, baby! Shout out to all the fans from Canada. I'm gonna make my way over there at some point, one day. So, last set. Not gonna lie, I'm struggling a little bit right now. I'm gonna wipe the bench down, don't worry. So clean, so clean. Might have an omelette off that later. So the rope crunch, funny one. I used to not hate it, but I just used to think it was pointless. I remember when I started training, I saw people doing it. I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll do that. I just couldn't like figure it out. I didn't get like a good contraction at all. So I stopped doing it. And then I was like, hang on a second. This is annoying me, like, why can't I figure this out? So then I became obsessed with trying to figure it out and master the execution. And just from practicing loads and loads and loads, I taught myself how to do it properly. And the art is to really think about the contraction as you bring the rope down. So you just need to practice without any resistance to begin with. So you're coming down, go. You have to have that ability to contract and squeeze your abs. I think my problem was I didn't actually have a mind-muscle connection. I didn't have the ability to squeeze them. But once I learned how to contract the abdominals, then I knew how to contract them doing this exercise with additional resistance on top. So I think it's a good exercise. And I usually go higher rep ranges with this. The first set, I don't count this as a working set because I usually have to do a couple of reps to make sure my positioning's right and the weight is right and so on. And then when I feel that optimal contraction, then I stop, rest a little bit, then go in the working set. Need a bit more weight. Okay, like with all abdominal exercises, the key is to exhale at the bottom of the movement when you're contracting the abdominals. So I really want you guys to emphasize the blowing out and the exhaling of all the air in your lungs when you reach that contraction. If you try and contract your abs when you breathe in, it's so hard. I can't do it. If you do it right now, watching this, try squeeze your abs when you breathe in. It's weird, but squeeze your abs when you breathe out. It's really easy. There we go, the session is done. Took a little bit longer than usual. I don't tend to like to train my abs for more than half an hour, but obviously there's a bit of talking and so on. But that is that, abs done. And because it's been a while, I can tell already they're gonna be sore for the next few days. So it's time to eat. An extremely clean chicken, rice and vegetable meal One of the reasons why I like to keep active on a rest day is just so that I can continue to burn calories and I can carry on eating food. Because the problem is, like, let's say for example, a rest day, I don't do any activity at all. I just don't go to the gym, don't do any light cardio, just stay very sedentary. Realistically, I'm going to burn 300, 400, 500 fewer calories than normal, which, let's say for example, right now, which I'm doing, trying to maintain, stay lean, I would have to look at my overall nutrition intake for the day, my overall calorie intake, and probably pull back a little bit, okay? I don't really want to do that because I love to eat food. So by staying active, by doing activity, by burning calories, it means that I can continue to still eat a relatively high amount of calories, which is great. So things to take into consideration. If you are going to rest on a rest day, just keep an eye on your nutrition, particularly if you're cutting. If you're bulking, maybe you don't need to worry about it so much. And especially if you're struggling to bulk, then on a rest day, it might be more suitable for you to just really not move much and keep your calorie expenditure lower. What's in the rolls then, shall we?
When you're getting that.
A fair bit to go. That's a bit of a beastly Rolls Royce. I'm not at the stage where I want a Rolls. I'm still very much content with a sports car. Sports car is my vibe at the moment.
Alright.
Rolls Royce. No. Yeah, but mine. Can you give me the keys to that one? Can you not give me the keys? Valet man has given me the keys to my car. Another Rolls Royce in front of my car. Seems like Rolls Royce is just having my life at the moment. Look at the state of my car. Dirty little bad boy. It's been raining. The other day it actually rained here, torrential rain, which is pretty rare. It does it like twice a year. Gets out of the system and then it's just sunny every single day. It's quite nice. Reminds me of being in London. The cozy days where it's just rainy outside, you don't want to go outside, so you just stay in and watch films and eat. I had one of them the other day and it was nice. You don't feel like you're really missing out on anything because there's nothing to do outside. Another cloudy day in Dubai. So now we're gonna head home. Got a little bit of work to do and I'll let that meal digest, and because I'm feeling good, I'm gonna do a little bit of cardio as well. Some low intensity steady state cardio. But more on that later. Whilst I'm driving, I just want to talk a little bit about the online coaching service, which I brought back in full effect. So basically the app is pretty much for everyone. It's affordable, realistically, £9 a month, absolutely nothing. So with the app, you get pretty much everything you need in order to get yourself in shape. There's an abundance of training programs, you've got nutrition programs there, and tutorial videos which basically explain everything, exercise execution, how to bulk, how to cut, basically all the common questions which I get asked on a regular basis. It's all there, but I can understand that a lot of people, they need a little bit more guidance. Maybe they need a customized training program. Maybe they just need to be told specifically what it is that they need to do, because some people are happy doing their own thing, other people need more direction. And I think particularly with the nutrition side of things, as it always is, it's a little bit more complicated. So with the coaching service, it's back. So if you want more of a customized program, it is available. So if you're interested and there's something you want to do, the link's in the description. Let's rock. Oh, so fun. Cardio time. We're currently 35 minutes in. Low intensity, steady state. Aiming to keep my heart rate between 120 and 130 beats per minute. Any higher than that, I'm going to overstrain myself. So, I mean, whether I do this or not is really going to be dependent upon what I've done on the rest day. So let's say, for example, if I've been relatively sedentary and I've done like under 10,000 steps, which my phone will tell me, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it gives me a good idea, then I'll do the walking. But if it's been a rest day and I've been super active and I've done like 15 to 20,000 steps, then I don't need to do this because I've already burnt enough calories just from walking. And people always want to know like how often I do this. I would say once to twice a week, like I said, usually on a rest day. For me, I don't necessarily need to do more than that unless I'm just trying to get leaner. which I guess you could say at the moment I'm trying to do. The majority of the time I'm just maintaining my physique, but now I would like to get a little bit leaner. And if I've been super strict with my diet and I've been healthy, no cheat meals, then I actually don't really need to do this, because the nutrition side of things is kind of taking care of that. I've allowed myself to be in a slight deficit, assuming I'm still doing my training on top of that. But if I've been reckless with my eating, which, you know, I did quite a bit in December, then I usually would increase the frequency at which I do this, just to kind of limit the damage which is done and minimize the amount of fat gain. So I'm trying to look at the overall calorie consumed throughout the week. You'll find that some people who are generally fitter, they have a more efficient cardiovascular system. They will actually need to either walk at a faster pace or set the gradient higher to reach that optimal heart rate of 120, 130 beats per minute. Some people, some overweight, extremely unfit people, will find that just a slight gradient at a normal pace will get their heart rate up. So it depends on the person. You'll find your happy medium when you do it yourself and you track what your heart rate is. If you don't have like a heart rate monitor on your body or whatever, you can just hold on to the handles. I don't know how accurate they are, but it's usually good enough. Decent lighting here. It's funny how what I would class as the least strenuous activity leaves me absolutely drenched in sweat. I don't even sweat like this on leg day. That is 40 minutes done today. 30 to 40 minutes is usually what I'll go for. If I'm feeling really good and I've got nothing to do, then I'll maybe extend it a little bit. But that is my preferred form of cardio. People always ask, which is superior for burning fat, HIIT or LISS? I wouldn't say one is superior. I think HIIT is really good to do because it turns into an absolute machine, a savage. It really builds up your conditioning and your fitness. And I think it's really good for your heart health. However, it's really goddamn strenuous. And I found that, you know, back in the day when I used to work in a gym, I had my own gym. I had my training partner who was a bit of a madman, Brad, and he loved to do HIIT. So I would do my training sessions probably 5-6 times a week, and I'd do HIIT 2 or 3 times a week. I'd do like sprinting, the battle ropes, the prowler, and it used to kill me. Like I would feel like ill, like my body was destroyed because I was putting way too much stress on my body. The more HIIT you do, the more is going to impact your performance in the gym and your recovery outside of the gym. So a lot of the time you have to decide what it is that you want to specialize in and focus on and just go for it. Okay? If you want to be an absolute conditioned savage, then prioritize the HIIT training or the CrossFit. Then you've just got to, you know, ease off the hypertrophy. But if you want to be big as possible, you prioritize the hypertrophy, minimize the cardio, or just keep it to low intensity steady state cardio where you just walk in. Oh! Hello! So that is the cardio done. And now I'm just thinking where I can go out to eat and have a filthy cheat meal and just ruin all the hard work that I've done. No, I'm gonna go out for some healthy food now. The abs are popping. I'm on a mission to get a little bit leaner. I want the veins to come back here. And that's only gonna come from just monitoring my nutrition, not eating shite, and being consistent with the cardio, which I will be doing because I feel a little bit more driven at this point in time compared to the end of last year. Nobody's really motivated at that time of the year, are they? So that is that. Rest day, core, cardio, bit of a chilled one. We'll be returning with a lower body day. We've got hamstrings and glutes, definitely a good one for the ladies. And then we'll be finishing off with another blinder, which is the delts and the arms. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course make sure you sign up to the app. And secondly, if you're interested in the online coaching, check the link in the description. Adios.